What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 10. Let's get started with Morgan, Ben, and Ben's spittle. So, the whole issue with Morgan and Ben in this episode was that Morgan had found out from Alexis that Ben has been talking to Justin about his marital problems with Morgan. And to tell you the truth, I don't understand because Morgan's big thing was her number one rule to Ben was do not go to other people to talk about our issues. Now, in the very beginning, when they were on the honeymoon and she found out that he was talking to Justin, I can kind of understand why she was upset at that moment because he was having some concerns with Morgan and he never brought it up to Morgan. He went straight to Justin, questioning her education, her financial status, the issues that she has with her family or her father. So that I can kind of understand. She confided in him some very personal things, and then he went to someone else and basically told all her secrets. That part I totally understand. In this particular instance, that from what I saw in this episode, and I don't know if I missed anything, but her issue wasn't the fact that you're telling my secrets or you're telling personal information to other people. Her whole issue was, I don't want you to talk to anybody about our problems, about our marital problems. I don't know how realistic that is because who doesn't go to their friend to discuss their issues with their marriage? Who doesn't do that? Okay, maybe some people don't, but I know that a whole lot of people do. So, in the history of the show, you're telling me that no one has gone to another cast member that they felt close to as a friend to confide in them with the issues they're having with their spouse. That's never happened before. Ben has been the first person to do that. I think not. So, I mean, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think that the real culprit in all of this was Alexis because she saw that Ben and Justin were having a private conversation. And I think the only reason why Justin even had Ben on speakerphone because he's such a simp. I think that Justin was doing what his wife told him. I think that Alexis told Justin to put Ben on speakerphone every single time Ben would call him. I think that that's Alexis. I think Alexis was behind all of the whole speakerphone thing. I don't think that, maybe Alexis tells Justin to put everybody on speakerphone, or maybe it was just Ben that she wanted him to put on speakerphone. But I think it had a lot to do with Alexis. That's just my personal opinion. I have no facts about this. I have no evidence of this. That's just what my gut is telling me, that has something to do with Alexis. So anyway, I think that the real culprit is Alexis because for her to listen to a conversation that Ben and Justin were having, because it wasn't Ben and Alexis having this conversation, it was Ben and Justin. And for her to go to Morgan and so this is what Ben's been saying about you, I think it's just awful because it does something to the friendship between Ben and Justin, which I feel like they have every right to be friends, to confide in one another, to feel like it's a safe place for me to go talk to my homeboy about what's going through my mind. I think that that's perfectly okay. But now Alexis has ruined that because Ben now will never confide in Justin, will have to keep everything inside, not only because of what happened with Justin and Alexis's big mouth, but also because his wife is extremely controlling and wants to dictate who he can and cannot talk to and what he can and cannot talk about. So Ben is in a really tough situation. I don't think that Ben is doing anything that's abnormal. Now, unless Ben was talking about killing Morgan, or unless he was talking about cheating on Morgan, stealing from Morgan, unless he was talking about, look, I've already made plans. I'm leaving her. I got my own place. I'm going back home. I'm packing my stuff and I'm leaving her on Thursday. Unless it's something major like that, I don't think Alexis had the right to go to Morgan and to tell Morgan what these two men were talking about. So to me, the real culprit is definitely Alexis in that. And when Ben had gone over to Alexis's and Justin's apartment and FaceTimed Morgan turned that around and used it against him. And she was like, and he would rather go to their apartment and talk to them. But I thought Ben was trying to talk to her when she told him, hey, look, I know what you've been doing. Alexis told me everything. I thought that at that moment, Ben was attempting to have a conversation with her, but she didn't want to talk to him. And so he went to his friend's house. Now, they FaceTimed Morgan, and I remember hearing Alexis saying, everything. She says, I already told him that everything that he was talking about with Justin, he should have been talking about with you. Okay, no, duh, obviously. And Justin, I don't know if Justin told him this or not, but yeah, Justin should have been like, yeah, okay, just try to have a conversation with your wife about this. But he was probably going to Justin for advice. Because that couple, they've been struggling. Yes, the last episode, they did really, really well. I don't know what prompted Ben to go and talk to Justin, but I just feel like I just don't see, like, on face value, I don't see anything wrong with Ben wanting to go to his homeboy to have a conversation or to go for advice or to vent or to complain about Morgan, because I feel like they all do this. And I know this happens in real life where you call up your homegirl, you call up your homeboy, you're like, let me tell you about, what I'm going through with my husband, whatever. That's normal everyday stuff. And you don't expect your best friend to go and tell your spouse, oh, let me tell you what your wife has been saying about you. I mean, that's just, to me, that's crazy. That's bizarre. I don't understand why Alexis would do that. But unfortunately, Justin is a simp. He doesn't have the backbone to tell Alexis, I'm not going to put my friend on speakerphone for you to hear. We're having a private conversation. So now we're around that time where it's their 1 month anniversary. And Morgan says that she is not excited about the 1 month anniversary and she doesn't even want to see him if she can help it. And I think she even went she went boxing to release some frustration or whatever because she's just not feeling it. So she goes. Yeah, she does. She does some boxing or kickboxing to let off some steam because she's really pissed off at Ben. And when it comes time, their 1 month anniversary was supposed to be taking place at the venue that they had gotten married, and they were going to go to the little bungalow or resort or whatever that they had spent their honeymoon in. So it was supposed to be, uber romantic. But when they approached, and I must say, this is the best that Ben ever looked. Ben looked like a whole snack when he met up with Alexis and gave her those roses and she took the roses and threw them on the ground. Ben looked like a whole snack. That was the best he had ever looked. Anyways, so they meet up at the place where they got married. He presents her with these red roses. She takes the roses and she throws them on the ground. And then she just starts going. She accuses him of telling Justin and Miguel, but Lindy didn't go. Maybe Lindy did. I don't know. How did she know that he told Miguel? But she accused him of telling Justin and Miguel about their personal issues, or whatever issues that they were having. And she made it seem like she was so fed up. She even said, I'm going home. I'm done with this. I'm going home. So she walks away. Ben follows her and she actually stopped to listen, which when she stopped to allow him to speak, I was like, okay, girl, you ain't going nowhere. You want this, you want to stay, you want to be with him and you want to work this out somehow. So stop with the dramatics of I'm going home. So she claims that what bothered her the most was that he lied, because she said that whenever he would go hang out with the guys and he would come back home, she would ask him, so what did y'all talk about? And he never told her that he was telling the guys about his marital problems or whatever issues he was having with her. And so to her, she sees that as, you lied to me because I asked you and you never told me what you were talking to him about. He doesn't have to tell you, sweetheart. He has the right to have private conversations with his friends about whatever the hell is bothering him about you. He's got the right to do that because you're not going to sit here, Morgan, and make me believe that you haven't complained one iota with any of the other women on the cast about Ben. So, whatever. Okay, so he apologizes. He says he owns up to it. He's like profusely sorry, and you can tell. And at the same time, I'm kind of looking at Ben like, Ben, we've been through this before. This is like very, very repetitive now. We've been through this before where you're apologizing about talking to other people about your issues. I'm not saying that he should stop. I don't know what Ben should do. But the fact is, we have been through this before. And maybe you do have the right to talk to your friend about your issues. But if you want to keep this woman happy, you're going to have to forfeit that right. So Morgan says that she's not leaving. She ain't going nowhere. She says that she's going to stick around so that every day he can see her and be reminded of the mess he made. because he ought to know. So the anniversary box shows up. Unfortunately, I don't know where Morgan went, but Ben goes into the little bungalow wherever they had spent their honeymoon in. Not their honeymoon, but their first night together. He goes in and, the box is there and he looks through the box and he's sad and depressed and whatever because, he's not there to share it with Morgan. They're having this huge fight. So it was a really sad moment. And even though, I can sort of see 10% of me, I can sort of agree with Morgan because, she's like, I can't confide in my husband without him going to go tell other people about the things that we're talking about. Now, if it was something very personal and private, and he went to go tell Justin, then, by all means, he shouldn't have done that. Let us know what he said. But if it was like, man, I'm really going through it with Morgan, we're really having issues, we're not communicating, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you told him a secret, a deep, dark secret, and he couldn't figure out that it was a deep, dark secret and that he went to go tell someone else, then that was wrong. That was wrong for him to do. But from what I saw of this, I was like, okay, whatever, girl. I mean, he's just talking to his friend about his problems. There's nothing wrong with that. Can you relax just a little bit, please? Moving on to Kristen and Mitch. So they go, okay, Kristen, where do I even start with these people? Kristen and Mitch. Of course, she starts talking about how their marriage is so great. It's so wonderful. It's working out so well. Everything is perfect. This is the perfect marriage, the perfect man, except he doesn't support her dreams of being an entrepreneur, starting her own business, and flipping houses. Like, that's the only little tiny, tiny little problem. She's got these dreams, these big dreams of working for herself, making her own money, and he completely just, poo-pooed all over that and doesn't support it. So she says she believes that if she gives the best version of herself, then he will in turn give the best version of him. You can do that. And what he gives you, he might think that that's his best, but are you going to be okay with that? If he's giving you his militant, environmentalist, lifestyle, ideologies, whatever, and he wants you to follow that, if he feels like this is the best that I can give her because I'm trying to help her do right by saving the earth, saving the planet, are you going to accept that? That's the question. So their 1 month anniversary, they go to, I think it's Julian, California. They go there to do some yoga, which is funny to me. People talk about yoga and how it's like so beneficial. It helps. It's very, it's good for your health. It's good for your mental, your emotions, just to really calm you down and relax you. But I've yet to actually see that because the Kristen that I saw at the group dinner, did not seem relaxed or calm or tranquil at all. But supposedly yoga is supposed to help you get there. But I really did not. I didn't see that. So the 1 month anniversary box comes, they look at the photos or read their vows. And this was a really nice moment. It is so refreshing to me to see the softer side of Mitch. When he is, and I'm not saying that he never is, because he is loving and endearing a lot of the times. But I like to see that because he's so hardcore. We've seen like the angry side of Mitch, the mean side of Mitch, the uncooperative side of Mitch when he don't want to put on that damn shirt. We've seen that. But then when you see Mitch say to her like very loving things, like when they were looking at the stuff in the anniversary box, and he says, I feel a lot of affection for her. And so definitely it is possible that I could fall for her. I mean, it is so refreshing to see somebody who's so hard around the edges soften up a little bit. So I really did appreciate that moment. Thank God for these types of moments that the show plans for the couples, for them to have these, loving moments, these caring moments, and not so hardcore all the time. So okay. So that's where we're going to stop with Mitch and Kristen. They unboxed the thing. It was a beautiful moment. They went to the yoga. Supposedly it was supposed to be very relaxing, and we're going to move on from there. So now moving on to Justin and Alexis. So Alexis says she's talking to her friend. She says that she's shutting down herself, Alexis. She's shutting down to keep Justin from shutting down, because she's trying so hard to keep him communicating, to encourage him to talk about his feelings. Don't give up. If you feel like I don't understand you, don't just shut down. Continue talking to me. Keep the doors of communication open. Let's just keep talking, communicating, blah, blah, blah. And this is making her shut down. This is making it I feel like she really tries hard to be more like a therapist to him than a wife. That's what it feels like to me sometimes. Because whenever she refers to her husband, she's always talking about all the things that she's doing to help him. Like she's helping him communicate. She's helping him express himself. She's helping him self-regulate. And I'm just like, okay, are you like a live-in therapist for him, or are you his spouse and his mate? Like, what do y'all do besides all of that? Besides helping him be a better version of Justin, what else are y'all doing? So, and Justin said, she says that her husband doesn't know how to self-regulate and she always has to do that for him. You don't have to do a damn thing for him. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. You're supposed to be his wife, not his therapist. And when she says self-regulate, I mean, at first I was like, okay, I think I know what she's talking about. Sometimes, maybe he's going off on the deep end. When they're having a disagreement, which seems to be all the time, when they're having a disagreement, it's like he just wants to go on and on and on and on. And sometimes she just wants to take a break from the arguing. And so I can see what she means by, he needs to know when to stop, when to take a break from the fighting and the arguing and the talking. That I can kind of understand. But then I thought about it. And the more I saw them in this episode, I was like, but what if she just wants him to stop when she wants him to stop? But it doesn't necessarily mean that he should stop. Maybe this is him trying to get everything out, because at the dinner, I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but at the dinner, like he would start to talk and she'll be like, but babe, I don't want to talk about, I just said I don't want to talk about it. You need to self-regulate. And it's like, girl, he barely got a sentence out. Like, can you let him have a sentence? The whole self-regulating thing, it sounds great, but is it self-regulating when he really should stop talking, or is it self-regulating when you're done listening to him, but he really needs to say more, needs to express himself even more? I don't know. So Justin feels like he doesn't have, so they were having this scene where they were doing some type of a craft project. And basically it was like a DIY little photo album, which I thought was absolutely adorable when we saw the finished product. So they're getting all the pictures together to put in this photo album that they've made. And Justin just seems really defeated. I mean, his whole entire body language, he seems like he's just so tired and deflated, like he's got nothing left in him. And he just seems like exhausted and like he's just given up on everything. Whereas Alexis just seems her normal self. But he says that he feels like he doesn't have enough time. I'm assuming he meant to fix whatever issues they have. He feels like there's not enough time. And she's like, well, that sounds really negative, and it seems like you're just giving up because you feel like you don't have enough time. And he's like, well, I'm not going to stop trying. I'm still going to try to make things work with us, but I just feel like we're running out of time. And I thought he made perfect sense. Alexis says that if she wasn't married to him, she would have been gone. This would have been over. And she says it a lot. And, so they make this really cute photo album. The cover is wood, and it carved out a heart, and then they put a photo of themselves in the heart, and then next to the heart was a carved out tree, which I thought was so adorable because his nickname is Tree. And also it can symbolize like their family, the growth of their family, like a family tree. I thought that idea and then she opened it up and was showing I thought it was just so adorable. For that photo album alone, I want them to work out because I don't want that photo album to end up in somebody's trash bin because, they ended up getting a divorce and it didn't work out. So that photo album to me just gave me all the hope in the world. Okay, moving on to Lindy and Miguel. So Lindy and Miguel, let me get to the beginning. So Lindy and Miguel, they're not on that page. Lindy and Miguel. Okay, so it's their 1 month anniversary and they go out on a boat. And, the Lindy and Miguel always, maybe it's true. Okay, maybe it's true. Maybe I need to stop being so, what's the word? so cynical and just believe these people when they tell me that their marriage is perfect, not perfect, but that everything is just going so well, because they're on the boat for their 1 month anniversary and they talk about how natural it feels to be with one another and it feels like being with an old friend. And Miguel says this is what he was always hoping for, that for his marriage to be like this. Like when you're with your wife, you feel like you're with a really good old friend. They have a charcuterie board. And I know that charcuterie boards are trending right now. Everywhere, and every single reality TV show that I watch, there's a charcuterie board. It just magically, mysteriously emerges out of nowhere. There's always a beautifully laid charcuterie board. And my question is, what the hell were people snacking on before charcuterie boards? Like, what the hell were we eating before charcuterie boards? Or were we not snacking at all? Like, I don't understand how charcuterie boards are just all over the damn place. So Miguel says, and he meant they were having, I don't know what they were saying, but in the middle of whatever they were saying, Miguel says, and I've seen her at her worst. And Lindy was like, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. You haven't seen me at my worst. And then Miguel was like, oh, okay. So I'm kind of scared now. Yeah, you should be. Because I think Lindy at her worst, I think it's a thing of what nightmares are made of. I think that Lindy at her worst is traumatic. When she's at her worst and whoever's at the receiving end of that, I think that they probably will need to go into a psychiatric hospital after that, because Lindy seems to me like at her worst, she's very, very scary. So then the anniversary box comes and they're looking through it and they're going through the photos, and everything that Lindy mentioned about the photos, except when she was talking about her father, but everything that Lindy mentioned about the photos, Miguel thought was really, really negative and very hypercritical. And he talked about, she made very snarky remarks, and it was detracting from him enjoying the experience of going through the photos because she was so negative, and I think that maybe, I don't think she was overly critical or overly negative. Maybe a little bit self-deprecating, because, you see yourself in pictures and sometimes you can be kind of self-deprecating because you don't want to be like, God damn, I was looking really good in that photo. So you kind of like make jokes about yourself or whatever. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I don't think it was hypercritical, unless there was some stuff that they edited out. It wasn't like she was, oh my God, this picture is awful. I had one strand of hair out of place. Oh my God, look at that picture. The upper left corner of the photo is out of focus. This is ugly. I want to put this in the trash. I don't think she was hypercritical. I think she was just a little bit self-deprecating. It wasn't that bad. Miguel, you were doing the most with that comment. Lindy says that this is the healthiest relationship that she's ever been with. She tells him that directly. And Lindy says that every day she's falling more and more in love with him. And she believes that Miguel is definitely committed to this relationship. So I'm going to take her word for it. I'm going to believe her because I need to be less critical of this whole entire relationship. So from there, we're going to move on to Sasha and Nate. So, Sasha and Nate. Sasha's having a conversation with her mom. Sasha, to me, is like the most impatient person I've ever seen. She wants him to show love, express love right now. Right now. I need to see you. I need to see you show me how much you love me, and I need to see it right now. Not when it's natural, not when it's comfortable, not when the time is right, but she wants to see it right now. After a month of knowing each other, he needs to express actions of love, words of love immediately. So, according to Sasha, she says that Nate is not saying or showing love at the moment. He talks about future things that he's gonna do to show love, and that's not good enough for her. Like, he plans to move in with her. That's not good enough. He wants to have children with her. That's not good enough. She needs to see him do something in the moment to prove to her that he loves her. Her mother talks about her being, she needs to be a little bit more patient. And the mother was like, why do you have this need for him to do everything right now? And she says, what was the word that she used? She says that, so that she can feel more trust, I think, for him. And the mom feels responsible for Sasha having these issues with trust because of the example that she set forth for Sasha with her own relationship. So the mom was crying about that. But I wrote here that Sasha needs patience and the strength to trust the process and to be okay with whatever the ending is. So she just needs to enjoy Nate. Just enjoy him in the moment. Don't overly analyze every little thing that he does or doesn't do. Just enjoy the moment that you have with him. Because if you're so busy analyzing everything and measuring how much does he love me today, then if he does say yes at the end and you'll have to start this life together, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be kind of like you're starting from square one. Like now, when y'all should be developing a relationship and growing a relationship, you're criticizing everything. So when it does come time for y'all to start the real marriage together, it's like you're moving backwards now. Now it's like now you're trying to get to know him. Now you're trying to get to enjoy the moments with him. And I don't know, it may be too late by then, but I don't know. So moving on from there, they meet with a lawyer because she's going to get her post-nup, right? And he's fine with the post-nup. No big deal about the post-nup. So they meet with the attorney and the question was asked, if she puts, they have right now, they don't have a joint anything. But when they do move in together, I guess they're going to have a joint account. So they're going to have their own individual accounts and then they're going to have a joint account. And so she says, if anything should happen with their marriage, if they should get a divorce, is it okay if the post-nup says that you're going to get out of the joint account what you put in? So she put in 90% and he put in 10. When they get a divorce, he's going to take out 10 and she's going to take out 90. And he's like, whatever. Yeah, fine. I don't care. And I'm thinking to myself, the woman who has an issue with trusting the process, having faith in her husband, she wants him to show her that he's committed. She wants him to show her that he trusts her, that he has faith in her. She wants him to show her that he wants to be in this for the long run. The woman who wants all of that from her husband is the woman that's doing the post-nup and making preparations in case they get a divorce. Gotcha. So then they're celebrating their 1 month anniversary. This is when he tells her that he's in love with her. And she's just about passed out from giddiness and happiness. And as soon as he tells her, I'm in love with you, she says to him, so where are we on the level meter? I don't know what she called it, but I call it the level meter. She's like, well, so where are we on the level meter? What level are we at on the level meter? Because you said you loved me at 4. What is it now? After the man said, I'm falling in love with you. I love you. Where are we on the level meter? Can you put that damn level meter in the damn toilet? Who cares? He says he loves you. He's falling in love with you. I thought, and maybe Nate thought, that those were the words that she wanted to hear the most, was I love you, falling in love with you. I want to be with you. I'm committed to you. I'm here forever. Until the day I die, I'm with you. But she went, where are we on the level meter? So he says he was at a 7 or 8, and she was happy about that. And he tells her that he sees a future with her. Maybe that's when she asked about the level meter. I think he said first, I see a future with you. And then she says, where are you on the level meter? And he said 7 or 8. And then I guess he said he was falling in love with her. I don't know how it went. But girl, whatever he said, forget your level meter. And I hope that he's not trying to say these things to her so that she can, because I don't think they've consummated their marriage yet. And I'm thinking that they haven't consummated it because she needs reassurance that he's going to stick around. So I hope and pray that he wasn't saying all of these things to her just to get in her pants. Just so that they can start their, the sexual side of their marriage. And then he really doesn't feel that way. Because Alexis, like Lindy, kind of scares me, when they get mad, when the worst of them comes out. So let's move on to the group dinner. Oh, by the way, Sasha and Nate they went to go get matching tattoos, which I thought that was a bold move. That was a bold move. Bold move. Even in regular real world, to get a tattoo, to get matching tattoos with someone that you've known for about a month, that's risky as hell. In this situation, when you're put into this very unnatural environment and you got matching tattoos, I mean, you can always get that stuff covered up, but yeah, that was a bold move. It's either going to go really, really well or it's going to go really, really bad. And we all know that it doesn't even matter what they say on decision day, because a very small percentage will say yes on decision day, and then even a less percentage will stay for like a year or more after decision day. So that was, I mean, the statistics are completely against them. That was bold to get matching tattoos. So at the group dinner, I don't like talking about fashion because I feel like I am not in the position to talk about people's fashion because I don't know anything about fashion. But Alexis, girl, what was that? Maybe that's the end right now. I have no idea. That's why I don't feel comfortable talking about fashion. Because when I see something that's odd, it ends up being what's actually trending at the moment, but I just didn't realize it. I don't know if wearing leotards to dinner is what's going on right now, but the girl had on a hot pink leotard like she was going to a drill team recital. What in the holy hell was that? With gloves. Mitch had on a suit. He looked really nice. Everybody commented on his suit, because he's usually in some dingy, wrinkled t-shirt, but he had on a suit. And so he looked really nice for the occasion. Let's get into it. So Lindy and Miguel, they talk about how it's been a lot of work. They have to put in a lot of work in this relationship, but it's been worth it. Sasha and Nate falling in love. Nate says that, she's my best friend. I'm falling in love with her. Matching tattoos. Wonderful. A round of applause. Kristen and Mitch. So Mitch said a lot of positive things about Kristen. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said a lot of positive things about Kristen. He said a lot of positive things about his feelings for her, the marriage. Whatever he said was fine. Kristen begins to talk and she starts off very positive. She says that he's a wonderful guy, very admirable man. And then she just lets loose. And I feel like she was, this was good for her. This was good for her. She says that she believes that Mitch is constantly praised. But the reason why they are where they're at this, why they've lasted and why they've gotten better is because of the work that she's put in. But he gets all the praise. I don't know if that's kind of odd that she would be concerned about that, like, him getting praise and her not getting praise. That was kind of weird in a way, but whatever. It's something that bothered her, so she had to mention it. And she's right, because she's the one that's changing herself. She's bending over backwards to accommodate him and his needs and his beliefs. She's the one that's losing herself in this relationship, doing things that she normally would not do just to appease him. He poo-pooed all over her dreams of being a house flipper, and she just had to swallow that. So yeah, she's right. She's putting in all the work. She's sacrificing who she is for the benefit of this marriage just to make him happy. But everybody's like, "Oh, Mitch, you've done great, Mitch. You've come such a long way, Mitch." And no one is seeing the sacrifices that she's put into this relationship. So with that part, I totally agree with her completely. She says that she's going to snap. She can't take it anymore. She says she's going to snap. And if she ends up snapping, she's going to end up losing Mitch. And Alexis says, girl, it's better for you to lose Mitch than to lose yourself. Yeah, you're right, Alexis. You're right. Yeah, that's what you said is absolute truth. But I don't see how that was helping the situation. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about Alexis real quick. Side note. Alexis, are you trying to sabotage other people's marriages because yours is going down the toilet? Because you're telling Morgan confidential information that Ben is sharing with Justin. You're telling Kristen, girl, it's better for you to lose your husband than to lose yourself, which is true. But sometimes, it's the right thing to say, but maybe at the wrong time. When they're talking about their problems and what they could do to make it better, for you to say, we understand, Alexis, it's better to lose someone else, let them go, than it is to lose yourself. I agree with that 1,000 million gazillion %, but I just don't know if that was the moment to say it. So, Mitch says that he wants her to be her true, authentic self. He doesn't want her, to tiptoe around him, to walk on eggshells around him. He says, be open, be comfortable. Don't feel like you can't come to me and tell me whatever's bothering you. My door's open. Just don't be like this. Don't feel like you're losing yourself, and don't feel like you have to change who you are. I'm here to support you. And he says that, right? But then when she talked about, I want to flip homes, he was like, okay, that's racist. It's gentrification. You're kicking out poor people and letting rich people move in and take over poor people's neighborhoods. I mean, he made it a whole thing. So yeah, practice what it sounds good, Mitch. It sounds really, really good. But if she says that she wants to flip homes, support her. If she wants to wear makeup and look pretty, support her. You know what I mean? I don't know. Then we get into, oh, and then at the end of all of that, right after Kristen had her whole tirade about, he gets all the credit for all the work that I'm doing. At the end of all of that, Justin says, "Good job, Mitch. You're doing really good, Mitch." He praises Mitch for all of his growth and progress. Moving on, Justin and Alexis. So everybody was like, "Okay, Alexis, what do you have to say about your marriage?" And Alexis was like, yeah, I'd rather not speak right now. I'd just rather listen." And so Justin was like, "What the hell? Like, what are you talking about? Why don't you want to speak about our marriage?" And she's like, "I said I'd rather just listen. I don't want to talk right now." And so he feels some kind of way about it. Then they start going back and forth. He's trying to be like, "I don't understand because you're making it seem like there's a problem. And I felt like we've made progress and we can talk about the progress that we've made." And she's like, "Okay, stand in that. If that's how you feel, stand in that." But you don't feel that way. So now he doesn't feel that way anymore. He can't stand in that because you're showing that there's no progress being made with that remark. Like, you think that everything is going great. Okay, you go on and you believe what you want to believe and you stand in your own truth. Okay, that's what it seemed like. That's your thing. That's not my thing. That's your thing if you believe that everything is going great. So they go back and forth. And he wants to talk about their progress. And then she keeps on saying, "Look, I can't say that we've had progress because of all these issues that we've been having." And he's like, "But what have I done today? What have I done right now to make you act like this?" And she says to him, "It's not about the moment. I'm talking about like the whole entire history of our marriage and the issues that I'm struggling with. I'm not talking about you doing something wrong right now." And so they were like going back and forth with that. And then while they were going back and forth, Alexis was putting on her jacket like she's getting ready to leave. And Lindy whispers to Miguel, "Well, if Tree's not going to eat his food, I think I want it." And then Alexa says, "You want his food? Because you can have it because he's pouting right now." And when she said he's pouting right now, I thought that was disrespectful. I don't think you should name call your spouse in public. I don't think you should name call your spouse in public. I think you can have like a constructive disagreement in public because this whole setting of the dinner was to talk about the issues. It was about the issues. But I don't think that you calling him names was helping. It wasn't constructive. It was bad. And then for you to say he's pouting, it's like you're trying to say he's a kid. He's immature. He's a big baby. He's a full grown man. And I thought that was disrespectful for her to say that. Alexa says that Justin is unpredictable. He doesn't self-regulate. And she says that she doesn't know what kind of Justin she's going to get, when she wakes up in the morning, and that's scary for her. Yeah, that's some serious issues. And I feel like, okay, just then can you talk about that? Maybe you can get some advice from the couples about what you can do. Can you do both? Can you talk like what Mitch and Kristen did? They talked about the positive and they talked about the negative. Everybody else was BSing, acting like everything was so hunky dory and perfect. Mitch and Kristen were the realist. Kristen was like, "Look, yeah, he's great. He's wonderful. I see what y'all see in him. That I'm not taking nothing away from him, but look, this is what I'm struggling with." And she would have done the same. Alexis could have done the same exact thing. Okay, this is the positive. This is what the progress we've made so far. But this is also what I am struggling with at the moment. She could have done that as well, but she just wanted to focus on the negative. And when she said, okay, starting from that pink leotard, that hot pink leotard, and her attitude at the dinner table, I felt like Alexis just wanted attention. Because when she said, "I'd rather not speak. I just want to listen," I felt like you were being a drama queen. You're being a drama queen. You know what this is about. You know what you have to do here. You're being a drama queen. You could have just said whatever. You could have just said something. If you don't want to go into the problems, then just say, "Yeah, we're doing good. We've made a lot of progress. We have a long way to go, but we have made a lot of progress." And just keep it at that. Kept it cute, kept it simple. Let's move on to neat. So whatever. She didn't want to do that. So he gets up. She gets upset. She she goes into the bathroom. She's crying. I'm not even really sure exactly what her issues are. To me, from day one, Justin has been a simp. He's been I can only go with what I see, and he's always been showing up, wanting to do whatever, just being a simp for her. Okay, And she's the one that's hot and cold. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. If we weren't married, I would run right now. But let's go ahead and make this cute little love album, this DIY love album. I was like, girl, do you love him? Do you not love him? Are you in this? Are you not in this? Do you want to break up with him or you don't want to break up with him? And she's like, let me help you so we can help us. Okay, so you're still in it because you want to help us, but you're not in love with him. But at the dinner table, you don't want to talk. You want to put up an attitude and look at him like he's crazy because he just wants to keep it positive, and you're treating him like he's the one that lost his mind. I'm very confused, Alexis, of what the hell you want to do. You want to help, but you don't want to help. I don't know what the hell's going on. You want him to self-regulate. You want to counsel him, but then at the dinner table, no, I don't want to talk about anything. I don't want to talk. I don't want to say anything at all because I don't want to disrespect him. Because she says I'm trying to respect my husband's sensitive nature or his sensibilities or something like that. What? What are you talking about? So she's basically saying I don't want to say anything that's going to make him cry because he's a crier. And I'm trying to respect him and not get him all emotional. That's basically what it sounded like she was saying. Alexis, you got me all the way confused. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What I do know is that you're late for drill team rehearsal. Like you're late for the dress rehearsal for your drill team. Like what the hell? Anyways, that's my review. I have to cut it short. This is the reason why I break up the reviews because I don't want it to be one super long review. We're going into 41 minutes now. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please subscribe. And I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.